Hi everybody, Matt Bernier here in the Daily Racing Forum studios, joined by DRF's national handicapper Mike Watchmaker, taking a look at this Saturday's Weekend Warrior, March the 18th. Two races from Oaklawn Park, one from Laurel Park. Let's start with the big one down at Oaklawn. It's a Kentucky Derby prep. It's the Grade 2 Rebel Stakes. $900,000 is the purse for 3-year-olds. Mike, a full field of 11. We don't have the winner of the local prep for this race, the Southwest Stakes. One liner is going elsewhere, but we do have the runner-up, and that's where you landed the 4, Petrov.
Right, Matt. You know, Petrov finished second in his last 2 starts, both stakes at Oaklawn. You mentioned the Southwest last time. 2 starts back in the Smarty Jones, and in both races, although he was a soundly beaten second, I thought he really had the dirty work trip, trying to keep Uncontested, who was the loose leader in both of those races, at least somewhat honest on the front end. I mean, and he tried hard in the Smarty Jones, which is running the slop and Uncontested Freet over that sloppy racetrack, and Petrov really couldn't make a significant dent on him, although he gamely chased him all the way around the racetrack. But I thought his race in the Southwest was really, really good because, again, he was used early to try and keep Uncontested honest, but this time he mastered Uncontested by the top of the stretch, and he opened up and was run down only late by one liner who enjoyed a perfect trip. And yet, with all that said, Petrov still was far ahead of everybody else in that race. And I've started to believe that Petrov, I think, would be much more effective if he didn't have to worry about keeping a loose leader honest in front, and if there was other speed set up for him. And he gets that this time. So my theory on Petrov is really going to be tested, because there are as many as 5 other horses in this race who could, one of them being Uncontested, who could contest this early pace. And I think this time Petrov's going to sit off the pace and I think make a much more effective run. And I think it's a matter of trips for Petrov, and I think he's going to draw the right trip this time.
Yeah, like you say, it's nice to see that he's shown the ability to sit off of the pace, and this time around, really 3 of the fresh faces, those seem to be the ones that figure to be most forwardly placed, including obviously the local hope Uncontested, but you have American Anthem for Baffert, you have the 10 Royal Mo for John Sheriffs, you also have My Legacy coming in for Todd Pletcher. Is this a situation where they all just duel themselves into the ground, and ultimately, who else do you want to use with Petrov?
Well, I think some horses have to go in here. I mean, you didn't mention him, but Silver Bullion, I don't think he has much chance in this race, but he can certainly impact it. He's leaping in class. His form's kind of iffy, but he's got good early speed, and he's breaking from the 1 hole with an Uncontested breaking from the 2 holes. So I think Silver Bullion's probably going to go in here. Malagasy won sprinting, gallop sprinting in his first 2 career starts at Gulfstream, and whom I think is a sprinter, but is at least off 2 impressive wins to start his career. Their connections are at least trying to find out if he's a 2-turn horse. I'm not sure that he is, but he's got sprint speed, so he's figures to go early. And Royal Mo comes into this off a win in the Robert Lewis, and he won his race 2 starts back, and they were both front-running wins in Southern California, and everybody knows how dangerous Southern California speed is. And you know, I think of all the horses that you mentioned, American Anthem is absolutely the most dangerous in here, because I think he's a candidate who might be able to rate, even though he engaged in a race-long duel last time out in the Sham Stakes with Gormley. And I thought American Anthem ran big that day because it was only his 2nd career start. It was his first attempt around 2 turns. He gave Gormley everything he could want, and Gormley, say what you want about him, is a Grade 1 stakes winner. And I know that Gormley came back and flopped last week in the San Felipe, but he was up against Mastery, and Mastery made everyone in that race look bad. And unfortunately, Mastery's now injured, and we don't know if he'll ever run again, but he's certainly off the Derby trail. Just because Gormley ran bad, I don't think it impugns the form of the Sham Stakes. I think American Anthem still ran very well in that race. I think he's very much actually the horse to beat in this race off the Sham, but he's going to have to sit. And I think he's a candidate to sit, and he's the horse I most fear.
It's a fun race, race 10 at Oaklawn Park Saturday afternoon, the $900,000 Rebel. 50 Derby points are awarded to the winner. Mike, you're going to go with the number 4, Petrov, Jose Ortiz, and Ron Moquette. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll go to Laurel Park. We'll take a look at the Harrison E. Johnson Memorial Stakes.